Ladies and gentlemen, the recent Arknights CN 5th anniversary gave us a lot of great things, including a new limited banner with some new anticipated playable characters like logos and W Alter. They not only have an influential role in Arknights' story, but thank goodness their abilities are worth the wait and resources. So you might want to save those red and yellow thingy for this limited banner. And if you're wondering how useful they are, let me show you in this video. First, let's talk about the limited W Alter. As an alter, she's very unique. Not only she's not using some sort of epithet like other alter, but instead now using her new name, Whistle. She's also the first limited alter, whose original version is also a limited 6-star. The original W was a good unit when she's first released, although nowadays I feel like she's getting overshadowed. So good to know her alter can bring something more useful for today's Arknights CN. Alright, Whistle is our second 6-star in the Flinger Sniper class, making this a pretty expensive subclass, since both 6-star are limited, and the only standard one is the 5-star Grey Alter. Flinger is an interesting archetype. They have a wide range, and they deal 2 hits with small AoE radius, but the second hit is a weaker shockwave. And overall they focus on providing AoE attacks much like artillerymen. But the biggest downside is that they can't hit aerial units. Or for her case, it's normally can't hit aerial units. Whistle got a nice first talent that gives a bit of multiplier to her damage, and allow her to mark an enemy, which when it gets hit by her shockwave, there's a chance the mark will explode, dealing some AoE damage and stuns the enemies briefly. Pretty useful to handle large crowds and interrupting enemies. But without her skills, and maybe her module, this can be rare to trigger. As for the second talent, it makes her automatically deploy something currently called Shadow of Revenant. This thing provides many things for her. First, it will give her permanent camouflage if it is beside her, acting as a sentry gun that will automatically hit an enemy in her range every 5 seconds with arts damage, with an attack that is about the same as a 6-star Corecaster. Gives 1 second slow effect to the enemy, guaranteed to apply talent 1 mark, and after attacking, there's a chance to restore some SP. This thing also has 0 block, but can still be targeted and destroyed by ranged attack. Moving on to her skills. Skill 1 is simple enough. In the next attack she will inflict 2 more shockwaves, which have a bigger splash radius and bigger damage. This attack also stunned the target for a moment. For a first skill it's pretty good, especially if you just wanna do AFK. But don't prioritize this to master yet. Next, skill 2 will give her attack boost, quicker attack interval, and now attack multiple enemies. This skill can also be overloaded. And so far this is the only overload skill that doesn't have any real downside in the game, as it will only change her attack to attacking enemy 4 times. Although it does slightly reduce her damage, and her targeting becomes random. Overall this skill is useful to clear out enemy waves, and the overload effect can make it easier to trigger her talent 1. Particularly if it's only a few or a single enemy. But due to the attack buff amount, it's still pretty difficult to penetrate a plus defense stat, so you might want to get some buffer on the team. Or you can just use her best skill, and that is her skill 3. If you ever wondered how the fat man from Fallout will look like in Arknights, it's basically this skill. This is an ammo type skill. First she will spawn 3 Shadow Revenants, which can stay even after the skill ends. And this makes it the only way you can gain another one of those things without redeploying her. And by the way, they do have bigger aggro after spawning, so might want to keep that in mind. She also got an impressive buff and damage multiplier. Attack splash radius is bigger, and her first talent is guaranteed to be active. With all that combined, this skill is no joke. Able to shred even the heaviest armor with ease, and clearing out crowds with a snap of a finger. But what makes it even better, this skill allows her to hit aerial enemies. And I'm not talking like the aerial enemy got damaged from the blast. She literally can target them. God blast those poor souls. And to think this kind of powerful skill requires only 50 cost is insane. And at M3, this skill initial SP makes it perfect for heli drop. Okay, that's versatile. With the physical damage she inflicted, she is a very worthy limited to have and build. And if you think that's all what makes this limited banner awesome, you'll need to see the standard 6-star. And he is none other than Logos. Logos is our 4th 6-star core caster in the game. The archetype, in which arguably the best caster in the game exist. And he is here to take the throne. Core caster is very simple, so let's skip the tray. Logos' first talent already allow him to hit multiple enemies. By giving him a chance when he's attacking, he will also hit a random enemy within range and slow them briefly. And if there's no one else in range, consider this as giving the enemy another hit. With the downside is that the damage got reduced. This talent is also the one which got an enhancement from his module. And his module is basically the same as Ebonholz, giving his attack the ability to apply necrosis. And for the talent upgrade, it makes him deal instant elemental damage. If the talent 1 random attack hits someone in a necrosis burst state, pretty much giving him a primal caster ability. Okay, enough about talent 1. For talent 2, his attack will reduce enemy resistance and increase the art's damage taken by a flat amount apparently. So with this, not only his attack will get stronger, but other operators with art's attack should also benefit from this. Now let's talk skills. Logos has a very good set of skill even at Elite 1. Skill 1 is a perma-duration skill which increases his attack by a pretty big sum, which can achieve about 1500 attack at maximum. His range expands to something like a marksman sniper. And the most unique about this skill, if an enemy HP is below some percentage of his attack, and enter his range, they will instantly be freaking defeated. Damn, is he secretly a Lisan algorithm or something? Anyway, because of this skill's nature, he can instantly kill almost every trash mob, and ends the fight early. With that attack buff, infinite duration, that insta-kill uniqueness, as well as it synergies well with his talent 1. The fact this is his first skill is just crazy. Now for skill 2. He gains a big resistance, and now his attacks become something similar to a mecha cord caster. With damage and movement reduction that gets bigger the longer it goes. All in all a pretty awesome DPS and stalling skill. Last but absolutely not least, his skill 3. Range becomes wider, and gains a massive attack buff. That can easily reach 3k attack. And now he also attack multiple enemies. But the most unique thing about this skill is that enemy projectile that enters his range will become slower, allowing all units around or behind him to take a breather, and it might save their lives. If that's not enough, once the skill ends, those projectiles will instantly disappear. But sadly he can't counter projectile that move vertically. For an Elite 2 skill, this is very awesome. You got the damage, something to clear enemy waves, and a uniqueness in that projectile counter. All things considered, the game did his lord justice. By making Logos a very strong caster, he provides significant arts damage, necrosis through his module, and other unique and useful utilities. So, that's the 6-star in this limited banner ladies and gents. Their presence really makes this banner highly recommended to save and gacha. Because you will have the chance to obtain a strong physical and arts dealer. And if that's not enough, Fang Alter is the rate up 5-star in the banner. She's a charger vanguard, and with her kit, I think she's the best 5-star charger we currently have. And one can even say, she's basically mini bagpipe. Probably not necessary for a long time player, but new player who start around this event might find her useful. So save your orundum. We got Walter Red and world's best son to gacha. That should be all. Adios.